Okay, let's move on to biotic and abiotic components in an ecosystem. So first, let's recall the meaning of ecosystem. Okay, it consists of a few communities. They live together in a habitat and they interact with other, including the non-living components. Okay, so ecosystem ini dia ada dua komponen lah, seperti yang kita lihat dalam definisi. So that means they are the biotic components and the abiotic components. So in short, you can see here biotic components refer to all organisms, benda-benda hidup. So the producers, the consumers, the decomposers yang ada nyawa. Okay, meanwhile the abiotic components, they are all the non-living elements, okay, including their physical and chemical characteristics that can affect an organism in the ecosystem. So despite tidak ada nyawa, tapi sangat-sangat penting komponen ini sebab mereka akan mempengaruhi benda-benda bernyawa ini, okay, organisma-organisma ini. Okay, so let's look at the abiotic components. Altogether, there are there are 6 of them. Okay, so the first one is pH value ya. pH value. pH value ini kita rujuk kepada pH of the soil. Okay, which is going to strongly influence the distribution of living organisms in the habitat. Okay, in fact, most of the organisms, they are capable of living adequately in condition di mana dia punya pH tanah itu adalah neutral ataupun hampir neutral, dan soil is actually very important because they are the habitats for hundreds millions of worms and microorganisms yang kita tidak boleh lihat dengan mata kasar, but they are there, they are present. Okay, those involve the bacteria lah, fungi lah, dan juga protozoa. Jadi, sedikit perubahan pada pH is going to disrupt the activities of the microorganisms. Okay, reduces dia punya fertility of the soil. Okay. The second important component, a biotic component adalah temperature. Suhu sangat penting. Surrounding temperature, because a little bit change is going to cause reduction in the metabolic rate. Kenapa temperature begitu penting? It's because of the enzymes. Okay, living things, we have enzymes in the body. Okay, bahan kimia ini yang sangat penting that is going to catalyze physiological responses. Dan kita tahu enzyme ini dia sangat sensitive towards temperature changes. Dia mesti ada certain range of enzymes, certain range of temperature, then only this enzyme can function optimally. That's the keyword, optimum temperature for the enzyme to work. Okay, so mostly the temperature range is within this range lah, 20 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, mostly. But there are also organisms which can live in extreme temperature. Okay, apa maksud extreme? Extreme tu sangat towards the end lah. Sebab kalau kita cakap mostly is this range. Kalau extreme maksudnya yang sangat rendah, negative degree Celsius. Another extreme is that sangat panas. Okay, so can you see the extreme of these temperatures? Ada juga sesetengah haiwan yang dia punya habitat itu memang adalah extreme temperature. So examples are given here in this picture. Polar bear. Dia tinggal di kawasan tundra, a habitat that is really cold. In fact, negative 14 degrees Celsius. Okay, another one is fox. Okay, they can live in desert with temperature reaching up to 45 degrees Celsius during the day. So these are examples of animals in extreme temperature. Okay, the third one, very essential, light intensity, keamatan cahaya. Okay, keamatan cahaya. So it's the duration of sunlight received by certain region can strongly influence the distribution of organisms. Okay, when we talk about light intensity, we will think about plants. Why? Sebab light is very important for the plants to carry out photo means light lah kan, photosynthesis. Okay, so when you describe about this factor, light intensity, so first you have to talk about high light intensity. Okay, kemudian low light intensity. Okay, so give some examples. Okay, kalau taller plants in the rainforest like this, kita nampak ada tumbuhan yang sangat tinggi in the tropical rainforest. They are exposed to high light intensity. Okay, in fact, a forming canopy providing low light intensity bahagian bawah itu adalah bahagian yang teduh. Okay, so taller ones exposed gets the most sunlight. Those greens. Okay, tapi di bahagian bawah, the shading areas has also got plants, okay, which only require low light intensity. Okay, so ada examples given lah. So the small plants, this one, ferns, paku-pakis, they can grow underneath the canopy. Macam ni, pakis-pakis ini. Tidak memerlukan tenaga the light intensity is not as much. Okay, dia punya intensity yang tidak berapa sangat as compared to taller ones. Okay, kemudian kita ada coniferous forest. Conifer, tumbuhan conifer yang macam like this one, pokok tirus. In regions with temperate climate, lower density of plants, tidak padat sangat as compared to tropical rainforest. Sebabnya temperate climate itu has got low light intensity as compared to high light intensity di bahagian hutan hujan tropika. Okay, so therefore plants in the coniferous forest, they are shorter and smaller in size. Okay, next is topography. Okay, topography is the physical characteristics on the surface of the earth, which includes AGA, altitude gradient aspect. Okay, so it's going to determine humidity, kelembapan, temperature, suhu dan juga light intensity, keamatan cahaya in an ecosystem. Okay, so let's look into altitude. Dia merujuk kepada ketinggian. So lebih tinggi, the higher the altitude, the lower the relative humidity. Lebih tinggi, the lower the relative humidity or atmospheric pressure pun kurang dan juga kandungan oksigen. Okay, so plants. Now this one is on the what happened here at places with high altitude. Okay, E here means the explanation lah. Okay, dia punya elaboration where we say plants at different levels of altitudes. They are different in types, in sizes, in density because of the difference here. Semakin tinggi, so you get to see these relative changes. Okay, and then the third point over here is that you start giving example. Example, pine trees grow at the high altitudes. They are smaller in size. Okay, because of this lower relative humidity, atmospheric pressure, and also oxygen content. As compared to pokok meranti. Pokok meranti ni ada di mana? Hutan hujan tropika. Kenapa ada perbezaan dari segi the size of the plants is because of the difference in the topography, specifically dia punya ketinggian itu. Okay, dia punya ketinggian itu. Lagi tinggi, lagi sejuk, right? Okay, next one is on gradient. Gradient ini merujuk kepada kecerunan. Okay, steeper mountain, kalau gunung itu sangat curam. Okay, the steeper mountain slopes, they are easily eroded. Berlaku hakisan due to swift water movement. Selalu berlaku hakisan, so that means the soil layer will become thinner, drier, therefore less growth of plants, except for some short plants, short thorny shrubs with small pointed leaves. Hanya tumbuhan-tumbuhan yang tertentu sahaja dengan ciri-ciri adaptasi yang tertentu sahaja boleh tinggal di cerun gunung ataupun cerun bukit. Okay, that is on gradient. Okay, so next one, when you explain aspects Aspects ini merujuk kepada direction in which the wind blows. Okay, direction in which the wind blows and also the rays of the sunlight. So the mountain sloped, okay, slope ataupun cerun yang menghadap laut has denser plants. Dia ada lebih banyak tumbuhan as compared to the one facing land because it gains more rainfall distribution, and therefore and also the slope receives more sunlight. Kalau more sunlight, that means alamatnya more plants lah kan. Okay. Fifth, abiotic component, microclimate. Micro tu merujuk kepada kecil. Okay, so what does it refer to? It is referring to the climate condition of a small area which is different from the surrounding area. Ini adalah kawasan kecil, dia punya cuaca pada satu-satu kawasan yang kecil. Okay, for example, under the rocks. Okay, under the rocks ini sebenarnya adalah habitat bagi sesetengah organisma ataupun mikroorganisma. Beneath the shades of bigger trees. Okay, yang kita lihat tadi, kawasan teduh ataupun canopy of the forest just now that we have seen in the previous slides. So this microclimate depends on, look at here, I've put there temperature, humidity, light intensity, heat balance, atmospheric pressure, water evaporation, and also ability of the soil to retain water. So that means dia boleh kumpul air around an area to maintain dia punya kelembapan. So I put here LOW here means first light. So dia berkaitan dengan temperature, light intensity, heat balance. O ini referring to oxygen, atmospheric pressure semua tu. Okay, manakala W here refers to water. So that means very essential water. Okay, dia punya humidity, water evaporation ataupun kebolehan soil itu to have water. So this light, oxygen, water, semua ini merujuk kepada keperluan hidup organisma tersebut. So therefore, when you elaborate this point on microclimate, you have to talk about all these factors, a biotic component, which is very essential in the survival of the organisms there lah. So the last one is air humidity. Okay, air humidity ataupun kelembapan udara merujuk kepada the quantity of water vapor, wap air. Quantity wap air dalam udara, which is going to affect the distribution of organisms in a habitat. Selalunya more organisms occupying high humidity lah, areas of high humidity berbanding dengan dry areas. Okay, terlampau panas itu dia sebenarnya kurang organisma berbanding dengan areas of high humidity. Okay, if it is low air humidity, that means panas lah kan? Panas. So therefore, it's going to increase water loss in the stoma. That means dia punya rate of transpiration increases. Okay, so therefore, kalau rate of transpiration increases, what's next is that it's going to enhance water absorption. Water and mineral salts punya absorption from the soil. Okay, so next is this one. This statement is talking about the effect of transpiration. Masih ingat transpirational pool? Jadi transpiration ini is going to provide cooling effect. Sebab proses penyejatan berlaku seolah-olah selepas kita berpeluh, kita rasa sejuk. So that's cooling effect. So therefore plants can maintain optimum temperature. And again, we know that it's very important for the enzyme action. Okay, so look at this picture. It's a rhinoceros. Okay, which has an affinity towards humidity, wallowing in the water, muddy water. Sebab dia punya badan itu besar, big body, therefore dia punya total surface area to volume ratio small. Okay, so the rate of heat release pun kurang, low. Therefore, it explains that on hot days, these rhinoceros often wallow in the muddy water. Mereka akan berendam di kawasan di air berlumpur inilah. So when the mud dries up, semua ini akan melekat pada dia punya kulit kan. It actually serves as a protecting layer for the skin of the rhinoceros from the direct heat of the sun.